Welcome back to Chair Force Stories, everybody. I'm comedian Chris Allen. I am a retired Air Force intel analyst and radar maintenance guy, now full-time comic. Um, and I decided to start this series about my Air Force career and just different things I experienced throughout my 2-decade career. So hey, do me a favor, please like and subscribe, share the videos, leave a comment. It helps out a lot. Before I get started on this video, I just want to say, for people who didn't like the Trump video, they're likely not watching this one. But let me say this: I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care what branch you were in. I don't care what your fucking job was. You could be special forces. I had somebody who was like, I'm CCT and I blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck. He's a piece of shit and he fucks kids. You protecting and supporting a pedophile. So hey, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But I'm not going to sit back and not say shit. So, all right. So this week, I want to talk about the different types, the different Air Forces. So you got the regular Air Force, the big Air Force, and then you have the Black Air Force. And what's the Black Air Force? It's exactly what it sounds like. It's all the black people on that base. We're kind of like in our own bubble. We go to work every day, but then after that, it's kind of we're in our own world, our own community. And what I learned early on is how you gain status within that community. And now this is a very specific because I was a young airman. This is my first time on any base. All right. It's not like I've been in for 6-7 years at PCS and things are different. But as a new airman coming onto a permanent party installation, your first duty location, you're going to be there for some years. This is my experience of how you kind of move and gain status within the Black Air Force. Few factors. So most young airmen, males, spend most of our time at the gym either lifting weights or playing ball, mostly playing ball. A lot of us hoop. That's where you met most of your friends. Now you get to your base and you might even run into a few people that you might have been in basic training with. Y'all might have been in tech school together, something like that. Yeah, so you might know one or two people because you get to tech school and there might be a couple people in a class or two ahead of you that's super cool. They end up going off to their first base, and then a month later you get orders. You go, oh shit, that dude Jeremy is going to Luke Air Force Base too. I'll probably see him there. And sure enough, you would see people that you were in tech school with at your next due location. And a lot of times that would help out because they could kind of show you the ropes. Like, hey, these are my friends. This is what's going on. These are the clubs we're going to. These are the barbershops everybody goes to. These are the malls. These are the areas you want to go to. These are the areas you want to stay away from. So there's that. So one factor that can help your status in the Black Air Force is your athleticism. How athletic are you? How good of a hooper are you? So if you can hoop, that's going to be a huge plus for you because everybody's going to want you around. Everybody's going to want to hang out with you. They're going to pick you for the team. And if you're of age, they're going to want you to go out to the club with them and everything because you can hoop. I'm going to be real, man. It's a lot of niggas in the Air Force, in the military, still kind of living out their hoop dreams. Like they make the base team and shit like that, and they travel around. They might play a couple community colleges. Depending on where you are, if there's other bases nearby, you play other bases. And like some people take that shit very seriously, and they really feel like they're little celebrities and star athletes on base. And to a degree, there's some truth to it. Like I know a dude that's walking around bragging, man, I was scoring 30 points a game. It's crazy, man. People really feel like they're more of a hooper than they are like an x-ray tech or an avionics or a radar maintenance dude or whatever it may be. Like their entire status is based on how well they play basketball. So if you can hoop, coming to a new base, everybody's gonna want to hang out with you. Like I said, you're gonna get to be in the cool cliques. I know it sounds silly, man, but that's just how it is. And another factor that can help you out is if you have a nice car. Now, if you're a young airman just coming on base, you're not gonna have a car. You're gonna be fucking broke as shit. But you did see it. I knew it. I didn't know his name, but there was a kid who lived in my dorm, but on the back side, he had a nice little Acura. It was an Acura Legend, 2-door joint, right? It's 1999. It's a nice car, and I had a 1991 Dodge Shadow, and I paid over $300 a month for a liability only, and that shit was parked on base, and I worked on base. So I have no idea how much money this dude was paying for insurance for that car. But let me tell you this: it sat in the parking lot most of the time. You see that a lot. A lot of these airmen, they go out, buy a car, it's super expensive, and they can't afford their insurance. They can't really afford to drive it. That shit will sit in the dorms because they can't afford to drive that shit. But I digress. So another factor that can help your status in the Black Air Force is, do women like you? Now, if you're a club goer or just a good looking dude, and they hear like, yo, women like this dude, and man, they love so and so, they're going to ask you to come out with them. Yo, you want to go out? Yep, because they know you're going to bring women and attention around, and that's what people want. But I would say this is the last thing too, is if you have a nice car. So you don't have to be a good hooper. If you're cool, you got a nice car, everybody's gonna want to be your friend. Why? Because Friday and Saturday night, they can be like, yo, let's go out. Okay, cool. Come pick me up. You asked me out. Now you want me to drive? But that's what it was, man. People wanted to be in the nice car pulling up to the club. They did. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? So if he had like a Beamer or a luxury sedan, you were in there. But yo, at this time, if you had some type of truck with rims, it was over. If you had an expedition with 20s, you might as well be on the Phoenix Suns at the time. And that's the thing too, man. It's just like, so cats on base, they want to be hoopers. So dressing like hoopers, got the long chains, trying to wear everything that everybody in the NBA wearing, just trying to look like a hooper, trying to look like a a celebrity athlete. That was the aesthetic, man. Everybody wanted to be confused for like an entertainer or an athlete. It's just when you're in your 20s, man, your priorities and what you want to do, what you want to look like, what you want to come across as, it's just it's different, man. And I'm not saying it was everybody. I'm just saying the large circles that I ran in, it was very frivolous, not frivolous, it was very surface level like that. It was all about just looks and aesthetics and going out, having a good time, popping bottles, women. That's what it was about, and hooping and hooping. That's what it was about. Um, and it was funny, man, because like compared to most other 20, 21 year olds, if you're on active duty, I would say you're doing a lot better than a lot of college kids that age, because they're broke, they're in school, they don't have a lot of money. Now, airmen and young people in the middle, they don't have a lot of money, but you definitely have more than a average college goer. So at the time, you can't afford all the nicer clothes, and you can look the part. You can get your little chain and all that kind of stuff. So like you have a little bit of a leg up on people your age. But when you live in a city like Phoenix and they have major sports teams, that shit would get shut down so fast. So you could show up with your friends. You got all the coolest clothes on that you found at the mall. Got your little chain. Everybody showing up in a nice car, and then the real players show up. The real players show up. People from the Sun showing up. You got Stephon Marbury, Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Joe Johnson, and throughout the season, teams are coming through. So we seeing everybody: Antoine Walker, Gary Payton, uh, Rod Strickland, Paul Pierce, Bonzi Wells, Dante John. Basically, a lot of niggas you see that have podcasts now. We've seen them in the club several times, and they would take your chick from you. They would take your chick, man. Football players, like Clinton. What's his name? What was his name? Clinton Portis. Um, God damn it, what was that? Terrell Suggs, Ran into Terrell Owens a couple times. Complete dickhead. Fuck him. He's the type of dude. This man stared me in the face for 5 minutes, and I'm trying not to look at the guy. I see who it is. I'm like, oh shit, it's Terrell Owens. And he just keeps staring at me, staring at me, staring. And I found him like, hey, what's up, man? For him to smack his teeth and roll his eye, it was like, bro, you've been staring at me for 5 minutes to recognize you. And when I say hi, you act like I'm fucking bothering you. That happened in Phoenix and that happened in Vegas when I saw him again. Did the same fucking shit. It's like, yo, don't stare at me if you don't want me to say hi. All right. But yeah, man, it was just like the just the it was just constant the shuffling of the pecking order, man. It was just all based on such like material frivolous things as a young airman, man. And also too another thing, everybody was clicked up by one who you work with, because that's who you are around most of all is the people that you work with. Now, if there's not a lot of folks that you would really hang out with at your job, like with me, I didn't really hang out with my coworkers that much, and they were my good friends. But on the weekends, I was off doing a lot of other shit, But during the week, I was Chad, Joe, we playing video games, stuff like that. But on the weekends, I'm out at the clubs. I'm out with all my other friends, man. But yeah, as far as like hanging out with the other airmen in my shop, not so much. Um, so if you're not hanging out with guys in your shop or in your squadron, the next level of click it, the next, I guess, discriminator or factor would be where you're from. So that's another thing too. It's a lot of like clicking up based on where you're from. Cats from California. If you're from Texas, you from Illinois, Florida, New Jersey. But if you didn't have like a lot of people from those areas, it would just kind of become regional. You would have the West Coast cats, the Midwest cats, or Texas cats would hang out. People from, yeah, like I said, the Midwest. You from the South, the Southeast. People from the Northeast would hang out. That was more my clique. I only hung out with two other people. My boy Dave Boyd, he was from Chicago, and my boy Damon Upshaw from New Jersey. Nobody really fuck with us. We ain't really fuck with a whole lot of other people. We got along, but it was just like a lot of other people were on some bullshit. We just really weren't into the shit they were into. And I'll say this too. Things were very like regionalized back in the day, from fashion to how people spoke, the music we listened to, everything was it was just everybody was still kind of like in their regional cliques, man. So and for me, like at the time, I didn't really fuck with southern music and all that type of shit. So like that's what all the cats from down south, like I didn't really fuck with that. They were wearing jabot jeans, they had creases and shit. They talked different. They didn't like me. I didn't really fuck with them. So even though we were cordial, that really wasn't my clique. I didn't work with them. I worked on the different side of the base, so I really didn't have a rapport with a lot of those dudes. But like my boy Dave worked with a lot of them, so we would kind of intermingle from time to time. But that they definitely were not part of our clique at all. So it's just crazy how like you're supposed to go out and meet all these different people from all over the country, all over the world, and then you get in your group, and then you just go back to like you're finding people who are from your area. If they're from the same city, the same town, you're hanging out with them. And look, we're all super, super young. We're talking late teens, early 20s, and everybody's got a little bit of money in their pocket, and everybody is trying to be, to a degree, they're trying to be the they're trying to be the most from where they're from, if that makes sense. Like if they're from Alabama, they're trying to be the most Alabama motherfucker they can be. You from Texas, from Houston, I'm gonna be the most Houston motherfucker possible. I'm from LA, I'm going to be the most LA because nobody knows where I'm from. And that's the thing too, man. Coming in the military, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing with college. People can kind of choose to be what they want to be because no one knows who you are. or your real backstory, right? So if you're from St. Louis, you can be the most St. Louis dude ever. Everybody's accent is so thick. Let somebody be from Georgia. They're gonna have the thickest Georgia or the thickest Atlanta accent ever. Everybody's trying to play it up for everybody else. You got New York cats being they're the most in New York. They got a heavy ass, yo, son. And then you find out they from Oswego. They from Rochester. They from somewhere else. It's like so many people fucking lie about where they come from in the military. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. But I do chalk it up to like it's just young people trying to find themselves, you know? And it's just like let's keep it real too, man. A lot of people in the military, we're coming from like the lower middle class. Some of us, especially black folks, we still kind of coming from the hood a little bit. We getting out the hood. And as a young person, it's just like you want to emulate who you saw in your neighborhood being that guy. So that's what you saw. You saw a lot of young brothers trying to emulate, like, yo, I'm trying to look like all the cool cats from Atlanta. I'm trying to look like all the dudes from Memphis. I'm trying to look like the cats from LA, from Chicago. And that's just not the black people. Because you saw with the country ass white dudes too. They come in, they got a little money, and they want to get a big ass truck. They got the big ass duster jacket, like they have cowboy boots, hats, all that shit. So that's what a lot of young people do. You're trying to be the almost. I don't want to say stereotype, but you're trying to be the most kind of stereotypical version of whoever from where you're from, whether it's a street dude, country ass motherfucker, uh, whatever it may be. Young people are trying to emulate that shit, man. They are. There was another thing too I wanted to bring up. Oh, yes, music played a huge factor in where you fell into this pecking order too. This is something that really used to fucking bother me. So at the time, the St. Louis music was hidden. Everybody was fucking with music from the Lou, Two Per, Nelly, I-20. So, and this is in Phoenix, and it's changed a lot in the last almost 3 decades. But I'm gonna keep it real. Black folks in Arizona don't really have like an identity. They're black, but it's like they're not really West Coast, they're not really Midwest, they're not East Coast, they're not Southerners, they're not Texans. They don't they're kind of like it's very very. It was odd to see kind of like a whole group of black people just kind of that don't have like their own thing. So what young dudes figure out early is just like some of these young ladies are impressed by like, oh my God, he from LA, he from here. So you will have a lot of dudes playing up their accent, two per, right there. I mean, just trying to sound super St. Louis all the time, wearing fucking band-aids on their face and shit like that. Just trying to impress girls. So that I used to hate that shit. It's just like you could be a lame, corny ass dude, and then all of a sudden some new rapper comes out from the same state or the same town, and now all of a sudden everybody thinks you're the coolest person on base. Yo, what's it like over there? I heard so and so talking about this now. Everybody riding his dick just because he from Memphis now. Like a month ago, nobody gave a fuck about Memphis or Duval or whatever city it may be or whatever state it may be. Nobody gave a fuck. Then all of a sudden a rapper comes out from that area, boom, that person is the coolest for the next year. And so many people would just play that shit up with the accent, how they dressed. It just it made me so mad. I was an angry ass young dude, man. But so yeah, man, it was just a weird it was a weird thing to navigate. It was a really weird thing to navigate, just having your status in the black community on base just based on how well you play basketball, if you got girls, if you had a nice car, and if there were popular rappers from your town or city that you were from. Um, but like we would get into it, not a whole lot of fights because we ain't doing all that shit. This ain't yeah, we ain't nobody trying to get in that much trouble. But like we definitely had our differences. Everybody was clicked up, but at the end of the day, if we were out and shit was going down, we always had each other back. We would look out for each other, but it was very cliquish. Yeah, we did have our little beefs and all that kind of stuff. There were people we didn't really fuck with each other, but all in all, man, I had a great time because all we would do was play ball, talk shit, go to the club, women, meet girls, or whatever you want to say, and yeah, just wash, rinse, repeat. Just buying clothes, going to the club, and drinking. But yeah, man, that was my experience with the Black Air Force, man. It's a different animal than the rest of the Air Force, and yeah, man. Uh, yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. So don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and if you have any videos you want me to make, any questions you have, please don't forget to ask. And with that, I'm out. Peace.